Hi, and welcome to this episode of the We Are Yarn podcast.
I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skeiny yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Hey, so my name's Amanda. I am your hostess for this lovely little gig we call a podcast. I'm available on YouTube as We Are Yarn. Well, if you search We Are Yarn, you can find me there. You'll find me at weareyarn.com. I'm on Ravelry as Mandicat, Mandikat. I'm on Instagram as the same, Mandicat509 at the end. Those are my social medias of choice, and to be very honest, I'm not really good at social media. I'm not there often. I work really hard to keep up with our group on Ravelry, the We Are Yarn podcast group. If it takes me several days to respond to anything you say there, I'm so sorry. That's just me. I'm bad at social media. I'm kind of in a hurry. If you notice, I talk a little fast. I'm drinking some green tea today, not coffee, because I have to leave for work in about half an hour. But my kid's playing at the grandmommy's house, and I was ready for work, and except for getting my lunch ready. I usually drink green tea on the way to work, and I wanted to go ahead and suck it down because I'm trying to get back on that healthy eating bandwagon, and all I want to do is stuff junk food in my face right now. I'm on the detox. and so instead of shoving junk food in my face, I'm just going to go ahead and have my cup of green tea. I'm drinking, this is from Brew La La Tea. It's an organic raspberry green tea, and I just got it at like Tuesday morning. I'm not real picky about my tea. Yum. Okay, so let's talk about what I knitted during my break. You know what? I left some of it out in the car. I'll be right back. Alright, I had to stop and put my shoes on too. Okay, so, what do you want first? Do you want my finished object? Or, let's talk about the sweater knit-along, my year-long sweater knit-along that has started already and is going through the end of the year. And I don't know if you paid attention last time, but there have been some rule changes. 4 sweaters in the year. I'm breaking up into quarters for me so that it feels more doable. If you want to knit a sweater a quarter, that's fine. I'm going to have quarterly giveaways of a sweater pattern of your choice on Ravelry that's giftable on Ravelry. So, that. Come show me your finished sweater each quarter. You know, if you finish 3 sweaters and you want to enter them all that quarter, go right ahead, and that'll give you 3 chances that quarter to win a sweater pattern. But if you want to save turning them in until the next quarter so that you get, you know, an entry every month, every quarter, that's fine too. Whatever. I will be keeping track, whoever, of our turn-in sweaters. So if you finish 4 sweaters in 2018, you will be you will be entered in, you will luckily be entered into for a giveaway that's going to be big, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, but I have yet, you know, it's only January, this isn't happening until January next year, so I don't even know. I got plenty of time to work on your amazing giveaway. So, but remember last time I'd said that I had a really difficult time with that, with those increases? Yeah. And like I couldn't focus. Things are better now. I have bebopped my way down this sweater. It's fabulous. Alright, so I'm knitting a sweater by Isabel Kramer. Mayla? I have it right here. Mailin. M-A-I-L-I-N. This is out of, and I still haven't put the stinking tags in the stinking bag. This is my yarn with a pencil attached. Shepherd's wool. in the Sage colorway. It's a worsted. It's so soft, guys. It's amazing. If you ever have an opportunity to work with this wool, do it. All right, so here we go. There's my front. I've completed the back and my raglan increases, and there's the beginning of my lace and cable business, which was amazingly easy to memorize. And I finished the first ball. This is the end of the first ball, and I decided before I get the bulk of the body knit, I'm going to go ahead and do the sleeves so that I'm not having to turn an entire body for the sleeves. So there's my sleeves started. I have 2 decreases completed, and I'm well on my way. I am repeating what I did on that last sweater I made that I don't remember which one it was. I just knitted something with sleeves. Oh, the So Faded. And I have put how many decreases I'm supposed to do. I went ahead and put my little stitch markers up there. Can you see that? And so all I have to do is remember how many rows between my decreases, and then when my stitch markers are gone, my decreases are over. So I am zooming right along on that, and I'm really, really excited about it. I did decide to put it down for a little bit and work on other things so that I don't get bored with it and put it down for the rest of the year. I'm putting it aside for a little bit. It's living though in my Whimsy Stitches bag with in a St. Patrick's Day theme. And it's clear so I can see it, and I'm all the time thinking about it. And it lives right here next to my bed. If it leaves the house, when it comes back, it goes right there next to the bed, so I see it every day, multiple times a day. So it's still in the front of my mind. I like to brew my green tea really strong. Like, I will let it steep forever. The box says 2 or 3 minutes. That's probably been steeping 15, and it's just, I don't know, I like it really strong. Okay, so sitting here on my vacation, my husband and I watched many movies together. We don't get to watch much TV together, so we watched a lot of television together. And one night, I don't think he knows these are for him, so I'm not worried about it. But I went ahead and got the heels done on his socks. This is Desert Vista Dye Works. The Wild one is the name of the colorway. If I understand correctly, this was her nod to Doctor Who. And I love the way it looks on the camera. I mean, it's beautiful anyway. I love the blue and black and white stripes. And that yarn for the heel is just black yarn I bought once when my husband asked for black socks, and it killed my soul. Like, literally, my soul died a little bit knitting black socks for him. But then, those extra rounds you see since the heel, I got those done sitting at the drive-thru at the pharmacy today. So, I did that. I'm feeling really good about that. I almost want to call those heels an FO because I was so proud that I did them. So that's the knitting I've done, is on that sweater, on those heels. I've been doing a little bit of crochet too. You remember last time I had started out of the One Skein Wonders book, the sunflower pillow is right there in the corner. And I have made a few design modifications. One was not intended, but I did a series of my baubles wrong, popcorn stitches wrong, and I'm okay with that. I didn't realize it till I got to the second set of popcorn stitches, and I was not about to rip out that many rounds. And then also there was one spot where it calls, there's one spot in it where it calls for a front post double crochet, which is where instead of working in between the stitches like you usually would do, or on the top of the stitch, you work, like you stick your hook around, like through into the back, and then bring it back up into the front, and then work your stitch around the post. And that's a kind of fun stitch to do when we're talking about working them around like a double crochet. But this pattern had you doing that around a single crochet, and I did that for one round. The first round it calls for it, and I was a little perturbed the whole way through, and then when it called for it again, I said, nope, not this girl, because you know what? This is my pillow. Nobody's going to notice. It's not like it's not necessary to do that to make the pillow look amazing. So I just did a half double crochet instead, because that's about how tall it would be. A double crochet on top of a single crochet like that, it'd work about to be the height of a half double. So that's what I did. And I am using this hand spun, which is Alpaca and You. Woo, it's blowing out big time. It's Alpaca and You. I spun this many years ago, at least 4 years ago, and it's just been sitting around waiting on me to knit it, and then I wound it into a ball in hopes that it being pretty in its gradient ball would bring about some inspiration, and it took probably 2 years past that before this inspiration hit. But here we are. This is where I am. So see, it went yellow to orange, and now I've entered pink territory. And this was the last round before it's time to start squaring off those corners. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping against hope that with my gauge, because I didn't check gauge, I didn't measure anything. Who do you think I am? If you've been watching me for any length of time, you know I don't ever check my gauge. I checked the gauge on the sweater after I'd already joined in the front, after the raglan, or after the neck increases and joined at the front. And I was like, maybe I should check my gauge. It was spot on. Spot on unblocked. So it'll be a little bit, it'll probably grow just a tinge, but that's okay. Anyway, I haven't checked my gauge on this. I don't ever check my gauge on crochet. Maybe that's why I very rarely have things work out the way they should if I'm trying to do a garment. But that's okay. Speaking of crochet and garments, I wanted to cast stone so terribly a new project in crochet, and I had asked my lovely knitting friends that if I started talking about casting on a new project or starting a new project, to remind me that I want to make boot cuffs. Whenever I'm getting dressed up to go out and like want to go somewhere where I want to look nice and I'm wearing my boots, I always go, you know, when I'm trying to think about what I'm going to put on that night, about midday, I go, you know, it would be amazing with this outfit that I'm putting together mentally are boot toppers. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I could finish a pair. So I asked them the next time I decided I wanted to do something new, remind me I want to make boot toppers. And they did. They came through. And let me get you my notebook projects. The details. These are, I just called it boot cuffs. That's awesome. Oh, so the pattern is called Boot Cuffs by Carissa Knox. C-A-R-R-I-S-S-A, Knox. So they're just worsted weight yarn, crocheted. They were a free pattern on her blog. Here, I'll show you the picture of the Ravelry page, so when you go looking for them, you can find them easily. And see, you're supposed to put 2 little buttons on them, and I have not done that yet. But I have, this one I tried on, that's why it's kind of stretched out a little bit. But I made this out of some ancient, I'm talking ancient, Cascade 220 tweed. Ancient, like before I was crocheting but not knitting yet, and I knitted my husband a scarf crocheted my husband a scarf, which, remember, going back to not checking gauge, is not quite long enough for him. But that's okay. Because it was knit end to end instead of like long end to long end instead of back and forth short row deal. So anyway, I have not woven my ends in, but it's not like it's that hard on crochet. I haven't decided if I want to put buttons on it yet. I did. Now this is the thought I had. Hang with me just a minute. This is the thought I had. Picking out some buttons, and instead of attaching them to the boot cuff, putting some tiny buttons on the back side of them, or maybe a T-style button, but something small that would fit through the crochet holes here, right? So if I decide I want a button, I can just pop it on, and then it'll have a button. And if I don't want a button, I don't have to have a button. If I want a different button, I can just put that button on other buttons and pop it on. What do you think? It's just a thought, you know. But I'm really excited. I finally have boot toppers, and there's your FO. I chose the gray tweedy because I thought it'd look good with the brown boots and with the black boots and with jeans and with leggings. I think it's just going to be, I think the gray tweed is going to be the best deal. Thank you for your help, Pippin. Okay, back. Now what I cast that on before starting cast on. What I put that on the hook instead of starting this, which looks pretty dull and boring right there. That is the Movie Night Cocoon Cardi by Alexandra Tavel, Tavel. I'm sure you've seen this before. So this is just one of those like basic knit or crochet a square, seam it up in a clever fashion, and you have a cardigan. So my friend Wendy, Silly Frew of Sassy Pants Knitter, and I used this eye hook to make my boot cuffs. Have this a similar set. It's a worsted weight giant skein from, it stands for Hand Painted Knitting Yarns. And I'm wondering, because mine says specifically hand painted by Mountain Meadow Wool. And it makes me wonder if they have a lot of different dyers hand painting their yarns. But so there are 12 skeins. Each skein is 78 yards for a total of 940 yards. And I think Tosca is actually the colorway name. Now, I've had this ages upon ages upon ages, and I've had a hard time figuring out what to do with it. But this is, let's see, which one is going to be the prettiest. I'm going to show you the sparkle one. It's the one, no, it's not the one I've decided to start with, but so that's it. Kind of purples and olive greens and golds. That's the color. So what I have decided to do, and see, I have it in this, I don't know, I think sheets came in this or something so that I can see it. I have numbered them all because I laid them out and decided what order I wanted to do them in, crochet them in. So we have that sparkly one. There's this kind of boucle business going on. Here's, looks like it probably has mohair in it and it's all sparkly. There's this single right here that, I mean, just shows off the color in a beautiful way. And then there's, you know, just basic like wool. So, I want to make the cocoon cardi. And it's essentially, if you haven't been paying attention, a giant granny square blanket, a giant granny square that you go to 40, this is a free pattern, so I'm not giving away anything. You go to 40 inches. Step 1, granny square to 40 inches. What I've decided to do is granny square until I'm down to, I don't know, a ball and a half or 2 balls left of base. And then I'll use that ball and a half to 2 balls for the sleeves and the band around the neck. So that's where we are. I've just got to, I want to finish the pillow. After I finish the pillow, that's going to be the next crochet project that gets started. I am, you know, I don't remember who, but last year, I guess getting on towards the end of the year, a new viewer said how excited she was that I crocheted and could I do a little bit more crochet content. Or did she just say she liked it when I did crochet or something? And I was like, I should crochet more. And every time I crochet, I go, why do I not crochet more? I just want to thank you, viewer, out there in the world. Thank you for inspiring me to pick up my hooks again, because I've been having so much fun with it. Having so much fun. Like this pillow, super fun. I'm just having a great time. And it goes so fast. So fast. Do you crochet? You should crochet. And I guess that's all I have. I did get to sit down and spin. I'm trying to get my kid to learn that the spinning wheel is not a toy, and one day we sat in here in my room and he laid on my bed and watched Little Einsteins, one episode of Little Einsteins. So for half an hour I set my wheel up, he watched Little Einsteins, and I spun, and he would come over and look at me and reach out to touch it, and I'll tell him, no baby, we don't touch it when mommy's working with it. And he would stand there and watch, and I would tell him the whole time, like, the cartoon was still playing and he was not watching it, he was watching me, and I was telling him, mommy's making yarn, I'm spinning, this is called spinning. And he would spin around in a circle because that's what he knows about spinning. It was adorable, but I'm on my way. I think even just doing it that one time, it's probably now normalized, and if I wanted to pull it out while he played, it wouldn't be a problem. But that evening, since it was still sitting out, I got a good 2 episodes of Supernatural worth of spinning done. Okay guys, I have now 8 minutes before I have to leave to go to work. I'm glad you got to see me in my beautiful seal blue gorgeousness. This is my uniform color for my department at my hospital. So, I hope you guys have a fabulous length of time until I see you again. And if you haven't decided to jump on the sweater bandwagon yet, why not? I mean, come on. These rules are as lax as any rules could ever be, and there could be an amazing prize at the end of the year for you if you get 4 sweaters knit. And the sweaters that are being thrown out in the Ravelry group, like people are talking about Hita Foods, they're talking about So Fadeds. I think I saw, I can't remember the other sweaters people are talking about. Somebody's already finished one of their whips. Did you know whips count? Whips count. Just saying. You can't go wrong here. Come fill your closet up with sweaters with me. It's going to be awesome. Why? Because you and me, we're awesome. We're awesome. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten in blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten in blues.